Welcome, everyone. My name is Jacob. Thank you for joining me. This is Hunt Detail. Back from the ATA in Indianapolis. It was great. Really enjoyed it. Lots of great new products from great companies. Had a chance to connect with a lot of brands and made some new friends, saw some old friends, and it was just a really good time all around. And if you're not following the Hunt Detail YouTube channel, I would encourage you to do so. There is a three-part series on my, I guess, interviews or connections with different brands such as Tethrd and Hunt Arsenal and Cruiser and Tree Sticks. And uh, they were all very generous with their time. When the ATA is a trade show, and these are exhibitors, and they're trying to move product this year with retailers and sign contracts and do other sorts of business. And so, as part of the press, I always try to be very respectful of what's going on. Obviously, they like the publicity. The press is invited as part of this trade show, but it's not the main point of it. And so, anytime I get time with these folks, I'm very appreciative of that. And I will talk more about the business side of the ATA show, or some things that I've seen in part three of this series. So today I'm going to talk about some the best of the ATA from a product standpoint. Next week I'm going to expand on that a little bit more. So that'll be the first two parts will be about some products that sort of rise to the top for me. And then part three, I just want to talk about brands and in this space and sort of those that are winning and those that are might be falling behind in my perspective. But uh, today I'm going to talk a lot about some various products that rose to the top. And before I do, it's really application season, and it's if you want to go on a mule deer hunt in the foreseeable future out west, if you want to go on an elk hunt or maybe a pronghorn hunt, and you really want to understand the draw process, and I would encourage you to sign up for Go Hunt. Now, right now, Go Hunt is offering, uh, if you use my email address, you will get $75 back to using their Go Hunt shop. So Go Hunt offers an insider platform that allows you to look at draw odds and statistics, and then you get a strategy. You get strategy articles. You can look at particular units, and it'll give you some background on those units, like success rates and those sorts of things. And you can really get analytical about that process. But it also has a Go Hunt shop, and it also has a mapping app platform comparable and competing with OnX or some of the other map platforms. And I really do like. I've evaluated all the mapping platforms out there, and Go Hunt to me does rise to the top. It's one that I use in addition to OnX. And so, what I would say is, if you've been on the fence, now's the time to join. When you check out in the coupon code area, you put in my email address, which is JM as in Michael, Coon, COON, 02 at yahoo.com. And you'll get $75. And it's a great program. That $75 is towards the Go Hunt store, so you can purchase gear in the Go Hunt store, and the Go Hunt store is robust. In fact, I saw two of the Go Hunt buyers out at ATA, and they're always looking to add more and more. But it is very robust. Those guys are a hunting company first and foremost, and they understand the needs of especially those that when we go out west, from boots and packs and tents and sleeping bags and all of that gear. They're true experts. And so again, use my email and as a coupon code, and you'll get $75 as part of this promotion. It does end, I believe, on today's January 15th. It ends on January 22nd. So I would go ahead and you can pause this now and sign up and take advantage of that offer. So now, getting back to the ATA, right? Today's podcast, honestly, is going to be the Tethrd and Hunt Arsenal show. Uh, Quite honestly, I think that they I mean, Tethered sort of is doing what they've sort of always done. And I'm not exclusive to any company. I'm not sponsored by any company. I use some Tethered products. I use some Latitude products. I use different products from different companies. But when I look at what Hunt Arsenal has done and what Tethered is doing, they have made they're starting to separate themselves from the pack, I believe, and especially Hunt Arsenal. And I think that's where we'll start, quite honestly, because Hunt Arsenal has the Cloud saddle, the Razor, I believe it's the Razor Mag 2.0 platform, and the Icon X20 stick. All three of those items are incredible products. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the Cloud saddle per se, but the Razor Mag 2.0 platform is really one of the best platforms for its size and weight combination. I did a review of platforms on the Hunt Detail YouTube channel. I would encourage you to check that out, and it's looking at all of the specs of the class. And so I broke the classes into two. I said I had a large and an ultralight, or I guess it was, yeah, a large and an ultralight, and it was anything that was over between 174 inches and 200 square inches in size in terms of platform size. That was sort of the larger, or I guess the XL size. And then anything that was 154 and below was part of the lighter or smaller. I guess there was large and extra large. That was part of the larger size. So what Hunt Arsenal has done is they've come out with two new platforms. Now, I'll start with the Razor Sub 2. Now, this is 329. It is 1.95 pounds, and it is really for that. It's in that lower category, and it's comparable to when I look at the spreadsheet. So I've created a spreadsheet for everybody. If you go to Hunt Detail YouTube, you can find it, or Hunt Detail on Instagram. And that platform, the Razor Sub 2, is comparable to sort of the Predator carbon fiber platform regular. This comes in, yeah, again, right under 2 pounds. It's $329. It's 12 inch by 11.5, which puts it at about 138 138 square inches of platform. And that, again, is comparable to that tethered carbon fiber, the tethered Predator V, or even the Hawk Helium. But of course, when you look at the design and the touch and feel of the Hunt Arsenal products, you can see it's just sort of at a different level the way they manufacture their products. Now, so now you have the Razor Mag 2.0 that was 174 inches. If you wanted something smaller, you've got the Razor Sub 2, and then the other platform that they introduced. This is the Razor Elite. Now, this is 13.5 inches by 12.5 inches. So that's about 168 square inches. So from a square inch standpoint, it's a little bit smaller than the Razor Mag 2.0 at 174. It comes in at 2.45 pounds. So it's a little lighter, a little smaller in size, a little lighter. Because the mag is at 2.85. This is 2.45. But it does fold down, and it's an inch profile. So it's sort of a slimmer profile than the mag. The mag has a 1.5 inch profile when folded. So this is sort of, I would say, a little bit in between with the Sub 2 and the mag. And so fantastic looking platforms, and just love what they brought there. But does it stop there? No, it doesn't stop there. In fact, they introduced the Carbon Icon, which I would say the Carbon Icon is designed to be the direct competitor to the Latitude Carbon SS sticks. These are a carbon. Uh, I want to say polymer. I know that that's not the exact the right phrase, but it's a uh, carbon compound. I guess it does telescope or it's telescopic the way that the carbon icon or the Hunt Arsenal Icon X is. So it shrinks down to 12 and a half inches in height and expands out to 18 inches. It's about 19 ounces, which is about the same weight as those Latitude Carbon sticks. It's $279 for a 3-pack, which I think is a very strong price point. It's got the rope cleat. The steps, I believe, angle out a bit. It does have the glow tabs on the steps, and just a fantastic looking carbon stick that, quite honestly, is going to make, I think, big waves this when it hits the market. So now you've got the 2 additional platforms. So they have 3 platforms. They now have this stick, and then they came out with through a partnership with Eastern Woods Outdoors. I think it's EWO. I think that's right. They came out with the Solo, and this is a designed to be a one for those that like to do one sticking. This is a Solo, and it has a platform on the top and then sort of a smaller platform type step below at the bottom of it. And I would encourage you, you'll just have to find it when they put it on their website here. But for those of you that are interested in one sticking or do one sticking, this looks like an incredible stick, feature rich, of course, and very well designed. So now they have 3 different platforms, 3 different sticks, but that's not it. They brought out performance packs. Now they have the Agile, the Excursion, and the Flex. And I think I didn't get a chance. I did get a chance to look at them a little bit, but I didn't. Uh, and I had some issues with the video. But ultimately, one of them is more of a bucket style. One of them opens up and has a shelf in it, and it's designed to stay open once you're in the tree. And it has a shelf and it has a spot for other accessories. It's really well designed. And one of them is just larger, expandable, more of a multi-day trip pack. And that is the Agile, the Excursion, and the Flex. And again, meticulously designed, covered in moly paneling. And I think, again, it's going to make really big waves in 2025 as you look at, if you're looking for a new pack, I would encourage you to check these out. And then from a saddle platform, Hunt Arsenal has had the Cloud, and it's called the Cloud RLX, and it's a single panel system, but has 3 zones, and it has those built-in stretch pockets. It has a really interesting bridge, and it came in at $249. It was 31 ounces, so that was sort of their first saddle. But now you have 2 new saddles, and so they have a Cloud Infinity. So the Infinity has a different bridge system. It has wide mouth integrated pockets, so the pockets are a little bit larger. It's 30 ounces. It's $299. So but it's sort of I guess not a redesign, but it's very similar to the Cloud RLX, but it has some different features. Again, a lot of this is visual, so you're going to want to look at this on their website. And then they also introduced the Cloud Air, which is minimalistic, ultralight. It's has it's called a light bridge system, and it comes in at $179. It's 15 ounces. So Hunt Arsenal really, again, I think is taking a giant step forward. They've had premium products, but now they have many more SKUs within the pack category, within the platform category, within the stick category, and with the actual saddle category. And they also, one of the products that they also introduced was the Slinger DLX Knee Comfort Band, which was really impressive as well. And so that is a band that essentially attaches to the lower part of your saddle. It comes around your knees, and it's as you sit, it's sort of giving you some relief from the tree, and also reducing some pressure in some of those other more traditional pressure points. So now let's talk about Tethered. So some of the things that I like about Tethered is they were really I I bought a Tethered saddle, sort of their first one, 5 or 6 years ago, and they were sort of not the first, but they really made it accessible, I think. Whereas in the past, it was sort of the Arrow Hunter, or there were some other saddle companies out there, but it was sort of disjointed or something. There was something there that where those products just never sort of took off. But of course, as podcast and as YouTube and Facebook groups and all that influx of information came to be 5 or 6 years ago, you then had a lot of people interested more in saddle hunting and understanding it at a more nuanced level than before. And so they brought to market some things that I guess I just really think where it just shows that they put the mobile hunter in the center of what they do. It's not, let's do this, let's create something to offset our competition per se. I mean, obviously they're aware of the competition, but they just do things in um, a very strong way, in a way that I've just been really impressed with. And again, I'm not really a Tethered guy per se. I have stuff from a lot of different companies. I have no sponsorships with any companies. I've just as an outsider, I'm really impressed with what they did, especially at this ATA. Last ATA, they introduced the Grit series of gear for the public land hunter, or I'm sorry, for the guy that wants to get into saddle hunting. It can be public or private, but if the guy that wants to get into saddle hunting and they're purchasing it at a retail shop, it's sort of an all-in-one kit. And they introduced that last year, and I think it made a lot of sense because it was separate from what was being sold on the website. It was helpful for retailers to be able to direct customers to an all-in-one kit, and it helped someone that wanted to get into it just not have to overthink about it, as it relates to ropes and pouches and those sorts of things. So anyway, this year the big thing was the Tethered. There was actually four, I guess, big things, maybe five. The Tethered Carnivore two-panel hunting saddle. This is, it's really. I was really impressed by the design. The way the two panels connect is I think they call it the RAD system. It's a little metal clip that you can undo with two fingers. It's quiet. It's not necessarily loud, even though it's metal, and it allows you to keep the panels connected and then disconnect. And there's a very extensive video on the Hunt Detail YouTube channel. You'll be able to see that. And so it disconnects those two panels. It weighs just 2 pounds. It has a really unique, they call it the Gen 5 Utilibridge, a really unique bridge system that has a lot of adjustment capabilities. Again, this was on the Hunt Detail YouTube channel as well. Carl from Tethered is going through it bit by bit, and I would encourage you to check that out. I was impressed by that. I think it's a great add to their lineup. The One of the big things that made a lot of waves was the Tethered Saber limb saw, and so this is basically a hand saw that has two attachment points where you can put onto the end of a stick, a large stick, and it cams onto that stick or into that stick, and therefore becomes a convertible to a pole saw. So imagine you're uh, in a tree, you're on maybe public land, and you need to cut some shooting lanes out of this tree, and it's something that is allowed in that particular state, because some states don't allow this to things to be altered, and you can get a stick and help use that stick to form, to create those shooting lanes. And so it's a really nice product. It's $69.99. I think I failed to mention that the carnivore saddle is the regular size is $329.99. The XL is $349.99. And then one of the things that really jumped out to me, connected with me, was the tethered fast frame. So the frame is obviously, if you wear a saddle, you hunt mobile, maybe you go deep into public land, and it's not ideal to drag the deer out. You want to break down that buck or that doe, and you want to carry it out. Maybe all you need is a set of game bags, and this frame pack allows you to carry out that deer. And obviously, a frame pack, once you strap that meat and everything to the pack, it distributes that weight well across your hips and across your shoulders, and it allows you to get out in one trip, really, instead of having to break it down and make multiple trips, or having to go get a deer cart or something of that nature. I personally could have used this year. I do have a pack frame from Kuyu, but I could see where this would be helpful, because after I was talking to Carl, and he was, you see it on the video, he's going through the pack itself, the frame itself, and he was saying that you can use other packs to attach to this frame. So it doesn't have to be the tethered fast pack. It could be potentially another pack. You'd obviously want to take a closer look at it, understand it, get a sense of how that attaches on. But ultimately, you could take that back, maybe detach the frame, lay it at the foot of the tree, cover it in some leaves or something, then take your regular pack up the tree, and then when you're done, put it all back together, or maybe you're ultimately using it to pack out your buck. But the price on this, according to Carl, was around $229, and it weighs just 5 pounds, and it's enough. It's designed to carry the weight of a full mature deboned buck. This is military grade glass filled nylon, and it's you got two stage foam padding, adjustable weight belt, and it's I was really impressed. I think more than anything, to me, this is Tethrd showing that, hey, we see you, public land hunter, and we see that your needs are evolving and changing, and you need something to pack that buck out. Certainly, if you have a pack frame where you use out west, I have one for packing out elk. It's probably a bit much, quite honestly. Now, what I do is I attack the meat hauler to the frame and leave it in my car. And then what I would ostensibly do is make two trips. This allows you to have a smaller frame and to make it to do it all in one trip. And so I thought that was really impressive. And coming in, the last thing that Tethrd brought to the market was the hybrid and minimalist bino harnesses. The minimalist is essentially a set of rope straps that adjust, that allow you to carry your binos close to your chest, but not have any other sort of straps or any other pockets or anything like that. That's what it is. It's minimalist. It's $25. And then the hybrid covers up. It's basically covers up the objective lens and the eyepiece, and it's a set of straps. Now it has spaces for your rangefinder and another pocket for other accessories that attach to the chest straps. And these are, I think it's about 15.7 ounces. They can fit up to 10 by 32 binos. You don't need to. It's not designed for Western hunting per se, so you don't necessarily need larger binos anyways. They were sort of designed this for the whitetail hunter, but the hybrid is $129.99. So there you go. Those are some highlights from me as it relates to some of the new products from Tethrd and from Hunt Arsenal. Next week I'm going to have some other products that I felt like rose to the top, and we'll talk about that. And then the following week I'm just going to talk about ATA and business, winners and losers, and my observations, if you will. But don't forget, sign up for Go Hunt. Use my email address, jmcoon02@yahoo.com, and get $75 for the Go Hunt store. And thank you all again for your time and support. We'll talk again next week.